What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Make Money Matter. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about giving you 3 tips to finding your destiny, finding your purpose. And I'm here today with Tjibaria, who's going to shed some light on this. And we're going to have a conversation about the 3 points that she's put together according to her journey so far and what she's observed from all the students she has from all around the world. When people are, a lot of the time, I don't know if you see it, is a lot of people are lost today. Mm-hmm. They don't know what they want. They don't know where to go and find it. Even if they do know where they want, they don't know how to go get it, right?
Yeah.
So, maybe you start.
I want to start off with a quote by Buddha saying that the purpose of life is to find your purpose, which is quite funny, actually.
It's very confusing for a lot of people now.
Yes. I think so.
Keep searching, guys.
Keep searching. But I think it also is a very useful in the sense to understand that it's not like one day you get a door ring, or like the doorbell goes and you open up and your purpose has arrived or anything like that. It's
Amazon
actually
delivery. Buy my purpose today. Instant delivery.
That would be cool. But that is actually a continuous thing that you never kind of reach the end goal with it. And once, if you have that awareness that there's not like there's one particular purpose in your life, then you also understand that it's important. And this brings us to our first point, to keep on moving, keep on taking action.
So the first tip is to keep moving.
Yeah, keep moving, definitely. Because of so many people being lost and being stuck, a lot of the time that leads to inaction, and that doesn't move you any further towards what you want or towards that unknown thing that you want. But if you actually keep on taking action, you keep on showing up, you keep on putting in the work, the effort, the dedication and the consistency, then a lot of the times from that action, you actually get connected with people, or you meet certain people, or you meet opportunities that will then lead you to your purpose.
And I think that a lot of people, when they are like kind of, let's say for example, people who want to start their business, right? Or people want to quit their job and do something else, right? What a lot of people I see doing is they will sit at home and they'll be thinking. And they'll be thinking, I wonder if this is good for me, or I wonder if that is good for me, or I wonder if this will make me money, or maybe I'm supposed to do this, maybe I'm supposed to do something else, maybe that's my passion, maybe this is my passion, right? And it's a very interesting thing when people sit there. It's almost like they are waiting for that doorbell to ring, and then it's like for it to arrive, and then oh my God, it was here, it's delivered today. And that's why I think it is very important what you're talking about. This first point is that you got to keep moving, and people say, well, move with what? If they don't know what to do, what is your advice on that? If they don't know what to do, move with what? What do you want me to do? Just fidget on my seat, or what do you want me to do? Right?
Well, one of the things that I always definitely feel that can really help people is just helping other people. So even like whether you are in business or not, it really will allow you to make an impact, and from that receive more in whichever shape or form. But since we're talking,
that's good.
Since we're talking about business, anyways, like especially if you are wanting to go into e-commerce or go into coaching or go into whichever industry, at the end of the day, you're helping people. So it will definitely always serve you to be able to put value to the marketplace, whichever shape or form. And since a lot of the things, like you're watching this right now on social media, that if you are putting out stuff on social media, that can be a very powerful start. And it can be like a video that you're making, just like we're recording this video, or it could be you posting a quote or whatever that is in line with something that you somehow are aligning with. And if you're then wondering like, okay, how do I find what I'm aligning with or what I can add of value, then tip number 2 is to use the SCEPT framework. So I want you to comment that below, the SCEPT, SKEPT, and that basically is a guideline of you being able to find what you could, bring to the table to help people. So the S stands for a particular skill set, then the P stands for a passion that you may have, E is for an experience. Maybe you've experienced something like a bad relationship that you got out of, or you've lost weight or something along those lines. Then the
K is for knowledge.
Oh, the K, I forgot. The K is for knowledge, and the T is for a particular talent you may have. And if you are looking for yourself, like, do I have any of these things? And of course you will have any of these things, and write it down for yourself and think, how can I bring this value, this knowledge, this experience in service of other people. And from that, you will see that people will start enjoying it, people will get value from it, and more comes from there.
And this is what you always say in your trainings as well. And I know that there's been a lot of you who've been through the masterclass, the training that Tjibaria hosts. And those of you who haven't, Tjibaria actually runs a free masterclass. You can see it in the description below. Just click on the link and you can sign up for free and get the training on this. So you get a in-depth understanding of, hey, what is it that you could possibly bring to the table, which is actually of purpose. This is finding your purpose. You got to do something of purpose. So you got to be purposeful.
Yeah.
And that's why helping people is a big thing, right? When you come to this understanding that, hey, you're on this planet to actually serve the greater good, serve other people, which is actually serving yourself, because this is all unity, all oneness.
Yeah.
And when you come to that understanding, you will start finding yourself. And that's why I find it it's a beautiful thing, because for many years I was doing business because my dad told me to go into food industry. And as I learned business from it, but it wasn't like I didn't look at noodles every day and say, hey, you know what, I'm so passionate and I'm serving my purpose. You know, in fact, it was the opposite. I was thinking, what am I doing with my life? Yet at the same time, I was 6 years in that thing, you know, in the 6-7 years, and that was it, dedicated to standing behind a cashier, a till, and taking money and cooking behind the wok, you know. And it wasn't until I started to, one of my mentors many years ago said this, that he said the words, he said, you all have a message within you.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I didn't know what it meant at that time, but he said a very similar thing to what you're saying here, is that, hey, you have something to give to the world.
Yeah.
And one should learn how to voice it. But a big thing for me was, I was the shy kid. So voicing it was another problem, you see.
Yeah.
But I think it's very true what you're saying here with the two things. Is number one is you keep taking action with things, because it's like what Steve Jobs says, you can't connect the dots looking forward.
Yeah.
So you can't be like, oh, if I take this action today, is it going to take me to my purpose or my destiny? Because if you think about it and you don't take this step, well, for sure, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Your destiny will be exactly where you're sat right now, in that room you're sat in right now. That is your destiny. I can predict the future. If you don't move, it will be there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you do move, right, that will lead you. That's another step closer to your destiny.
Yeah.
Because you won't know what will unfold. You won't know. I did not know that by opening a restaurant, somebody was going to be in that restaurant asking me to start a steel business.
Yeah.
I did not know by starting a steel business I was going to fall into depression. I did not know by going into depression I was going to go and do volunteer trip and start my own charity. I did not know by doing charity people were going to ask me to speak about my success story, which I never felt I was successful.
Yeah.
And so all this led on to
Exactly.
today. And so people say to me today, they say, hey, you're living your purpose. You found your destiny, your purpose. Actually, if we look at it like this, if people really want to know, if you want to know your end, you know, I always ask when people say, what is my destiny? I'm saying, well, in this lifetime or another lifetime? That's always my question. And then if they say this lifetime, I say, well, you tell me. At the end of this lifetime, this final place that you're going to be,
Yeah.
at the end of your lifetime, where is it going to end up? And it will be there. You will be finished. That's the destiny of this lifetime. And they say, do you want to know destiny of another lifetime, or was it only this lifetime you want to know? Other lifetime? Well, actually, other lifetimes will end in the same way. And then they say, well, what about end? Well, actually, existence will continue to move on, because this is existence, right? And then it's like, oh, well, so what destiny are you looking for? Actually, people get very confused when they're looking for this, because they want to be able to foresee the future.
Yeah.
But you know what? One thing that I heard from Sadhguru, and I thought it was beautiful when he said this out when we were out in LA, and he said that when you watch a movie, and you know those movies where you can predict the whole thing, it's like, oh, I knew exactly what was going to happen, right? Do you enjoy those movies more, or the ones that have a twist at the end, right? It's always going to be the one with the twist at the end.
Yeah.
Well, actually, life is exactly the same. If you knew everything that was going to happen every single day of your life, what's the point of even living the life, right? You already know the whole thing.
Yeah.
So actually, we need to start embracing the unknown. And be able to step forward with courage and keep stepping forward, like what you're saying, right? And then, like you said, have some sort of framework and understanding, hey, how do we get the best out of this? Because without that framework that you're teaching, actually, people are very lost. Because they're like, well, how can I be purposeful? But with that framework now, at least they understand, oh, these are the 5 things. There's something that I'll be actually good
Yeah.
at that will actually be of purpose.
Yeah, yeah. And I think also with that, it was like really, really beautiful what you said about the plot twist. Because a lot of the time, even if you look at very, very, big famous people to us that we look at as icons, then a lot of the time in their life, there was something that happened that was either tragic or they made big mistakes that eventually led them to become the big people that they are. And so if you're sitting there right now, you're thinking like, yeah, it's very nice what you guys are talking about, but I haven't really done anything good in my life, or I've made mistakes, then that is very powerful, because the mistakes that you've made, the pain that you have gone through, you can use to other people's power. You can really allow, the experience that you've been through to then help more people and be able to connect to more people as well. So I think that's like, especially also for like how every one of us are always very critical towards ourselves, and we're thinking like, oh, I'm not good enough with this and that. Really understand that you are good enough, you're worth it, and you have the ability to change and save lives as well if you're putting your message out there.
Beautiful. And then your final thing.
And the final thing is to really, like, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, okay, I understand this makes sense, but you're wondering like, okay, I need that final thing to actually start moving. Well, the third tip is that look at if you're happy or not. If you're not happy currently with what you're doing, with what you're experiencing, then oftentimes that's a sign. And it's a sign that, there's need for change and there's need for movement, like we've explained. And do take that action then, whether it is, something as small as making a Facebook post where you're sharing a quote or you're doing a video or whatever, because from that, everything will move. There's this saying, I can't remember like who it is by, but it's pantarai, and it means like everything moves. And I thought it was Latin or Greek, I can't remember, but I haven't looked at these things for a long time. But yeah, that like in nature everything moves, so we as well are supposed to keep on moving.
But I like how you put it, when it's moving towards happiness, what makes people feel happy.
Yeah.
And I think that this is one thing you need to understand, is that if every decision you make, whatever you do, we don't think, okay, is something right or wrong, ethical, non-ethical. That then you have that line, which is what your reality. But then on the other side of the spectrum is understanding that, hey, are you actually making other people happy, and are you making yourself happy? And when you are serving yourself, you must learn to serve yourself first. We always say love starts from self-love.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to happiness, right, you can't go wrong with happiness. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You can't go back and say, hey, I regret that time, because it was a happiness choice. And so when you're thinking of finding your purpose, finding your passion, finding your destiny, what more beautiful than actually returning to love and returning to happiness?
Yeah.
In this saying that I'd like to finish this session off with is, there's somebody who asked, I think it was some monk one day, about how do I know if I'm doing, something I enjoy and I'm doing something good, how do I know that that's actually God's calling for me? And what this monk said was, actually the difference between God and good is nothing. There's zero in between. And so when we start to understand that, you should actually follow, this is what Tim always says, right? Follow your heart, take action, right? So I think it'll be nice to wrap this session up with that. Everybody should follow your heart.
Yeah.
Do what feels good to you. Build with passion. Keep moving forward. Don't stop. Keep moving.
Yeah.
Right? And go out, serve the greater good. Yeah.
And you've got this. You're worth it. You're amazing, and there's so much beauty inside of you that the world is actually waiting for. So it's your duty to, go out there and help people.
Beautiful. So those of you who have not been through Tjibaria's training or not joined her Smile group, then make sure to join it in the description below. You'll see the links there. It's absolutely free for all to join. And finally, if you enjoyed this video, please do hit the thumbs up, hit the like button. Also comment below, let us know your thoughts, your views, and also where you guys have tuned in from. That's always nice to know. And finally, if you're new to this channel and you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button and the notifications button next to it. That's a little bell sign, by the way, because this year I'm dedicated to making daily videos to hold you accountable to make it your best year yet. But for now, guys, we're signing out. Namaste. Ciao.